Yo, what's good? What's good? I just want to show a little comparison. I don't know why I'm interested, but I'm looking at different hedge funds, and this one in particular stood out to me. This is called Statar Capital. It's headquartered in Brickell, Miami. It's run by this MIT grad, young guy, 350 billion AUM. I mean, this is a massive fund, dude. This is the real deal. You know what I'm saying? So I looked at their website. I don't know why. I'm just interested. And they focus on natural gas. They're one of the fewest. They're one of the very few remaining natural gas focused hedge funds. And so I want to compare natural gas price movement to the return that Statar Capital has. So, very interesting though. I mean, this is a massive fund. But so let's say right here on the screen here, first of all, the return is fantastic. You can see that the chart goes up. You start in 2018 with $1,000. At this point, you'd have April of 2025, which they stopped posting April 2025. Maybe they went more private. I don't know. They don't have to post on Autumn Gold or CTA tracking websites anymore because they have enough. I don't know. They might not need to. But anyways, it looks like it goes up. This is the best fund performance I've ever seen, actually, for CTAs. I mean, 30% of rate of return in the year, 60% the next year, 56% the next year, 30% rate of return in 1 year, handling large amounts of money. That is phenomenal. So anyways, let's look at month to month. Statar Capital on the right side, natural gas price chart on the left side. So I'm looking for large natural gas movements and seeing if Statar is behind them. So let's take a look at natural gas. Hold on. Hi. Yeah.
Avi's outside.
Oh, you can play with her. Good job. Okay. So natural gas in August of 2020 went up 9%, while Statar only went up 1%. So that's not very good. That means they probably weren't on that big trend, right? The next month, natural gas is down 11%, while Statar is up 13% in that month. So what that means is natural gas had a very volatile month. I mean, 11% in 1 month for any asset is generally volatile. And it looks like Statar rode that trend. I mean, how else do you get 13% from natural gas? It went down 11%. They were short. They must have been short that month. So very interesting. Obviously, I don't know their strategy, but I'm just trying to guess, like, well, what's their holding period then? Because if natural gas went down 11%, Statar, their capital went up 13%. They must have been short, dude. I mean, they must have been short. So that's interesting. So another one, let's see, natural gas only when it's up more than 10% in a month. So this one, natural gas up 15%. Statar is down 1%. So they were not on that trend 2021. So you can see, like, well, they're not necessarily getting wins on every single big movement of natural gas, which is pretty interesting. This natural gas down 10%, Statar Capital up 17% just in that month. So clearly short. The next month down 11%, Statar Capital only up 3%. So I'm interested in 2021, December of 2021. Did it reverse? December of 2021. Oh my goodness. Oh, 2021. Sorry. I was going to say. But still, look at that. Look at that. So this is really interesting. Let's look at this. I did not notice that. I mean, if you look at the chart here, okay, this is the monthly chart of natural gas, okay, and you can see that in December of 2021, it pivoted. It pivoted, but you can see that these 3 bars down, 1, 2, 3 bars down, Statar Capital won 23%, 17%, and then that last month they were only up 3%. So you can see, like, well, they're probably not short anymore because natural gas went down 11% this candle, and Statar is only up 3%. So they must have gotten out of their shorts. So, and suddenly that happens to be the huge pivot for a huge rally up from $6 to $13. So, I mean, that is a massive move upwards. That is the lowest of the low. Interesting. So the next month, natural gas up 15%, Statar up 4%. Then natural gas up 13%, Statar up 4% again. Natural gas up 14%, Statar up 21%. That's the month of April, where we see some huge movements here. This candle right here is when Statar was seriously long. That candle right there, seriously long natural gas. They had to be. How else do you make 21%? I mean, natural gas went up 14%. So that was interesting. And then you can see May, natural gas up 6%. So Statar up 5%. Then a huge down move, negative 33% in natural gas. Do you want to know what Statar Capital did? 0% rate of return. So they must not have been short. Huge movement down, this big bar downwards, down 33% in natural gas, and Statar was not in it. Then, this is the highlight here. The very next candle, when this thing went down, natural gas popped up 22% the next month. So down 30%, up 20%, right back-to-back months. And Statar Capital was down 0% and then down 10%. So when natural gas spiked and reversed, Statar Capital lost 10% of their billions of dollars. So hedge funds, this massive, awesome, winning hedge fund in the heart of the fastest growing or whatever American city ever, Miami. I mean, this is, movie status hedge fund material here. They're down 10%, dude. That means, bro, they lost. They were massively short, and they just got owned. That's so interesting. Then the next month, natural gas continues upwards 10%. And you can see, oh, this is interesting now. You can see that they lost 12%. So now they're down 22% in total in 2 months. And what did the market do? Only upwards. So these two bars, I'm talking like this because I'm actually interested now that we see this. They must have been short for month over month. If you see this down move, they lost money. This up move, they won money. This down move, they didn't lose money. This up move, they lost a large amount of money. This up move, they lost a large amount of money. And then guess what happens? It turns. It jams lower. 25% down natural gas. Statar Capital up 12%. They must have been carrying this short for 3 months. Now natural gas continues lower, and Statar Capital continues growth, 5% up, and then down 35%. Natural gas falls apart, down 35%. Statar Capital up 16%. They have been short for 4 or 5 months now. You can see it carry over. Down 28% the next month. Statar Capital up 13%. That means they've been short. They've been short this whole time. That means their holding period is, whatever their strategy is, we don't know, but we can tell from this, their holding period is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months, 8 months now. Yeah, 2023 January. Yeah. 8 months holding period, because that thing is still going down and they're still making money. Then you can see where they got out. Look at that. So down 30%, Statar Capital up 16. Down 28%, Statar Capital up 13. Down 15%, Statar Capital down 1%. So now in March of 2023, they're no longer short. March of 2023, right here, you can see this candle right here. This is March of 2023. They are no longer... Nathan, what are you bringing out there? No. Okay, you can bring that out. That's fine. Go on out. So anyways, that's so interesting that the natural gas continues lower. Statar Capital does not continue lower. And you can see that natural gas hasn't done a thing since. And very interesting results. Very, very interesting results. So anyways, up 55% and 31. 138. Yeah, they're since volatility has diminished on natural gas, they're making less and less money. You can see that too, because the graph was volatile and now it's not volatile. Well, on a percentage basis, it's the same, but they're making less money on these moves. But anyways, that's really interesting. May, we're almost done, but May, natural gas spikes 13% in 2024, and Statar loses 12%. They were down on that month. So May of 2024, why were they short natural gas? May of 2024 right here. Oh, you can see it. They must have some type of trend following system, because if you can see this down move, this massive down move, after this big bar down, they went short. That's why they lost so much money when it retraced 20 or 30%. So down 20%, up 30%, like back to back. They lost money when the market tricked them. So they were trend following. But what doesn't make sense is that they held their trend follow this whole time. As natural gas makes all-time highs, they're still short. And you can tell from their profit loss. They must have been still short, because then they rode this huge month downwards, made a bunch of money. Huge month downwards, made a bunch of money. Huge month downwards, made a bunch of money. And you can see, like, November of 2022, it didn't make much money. November of 2022, and guess what? They didn't make much money. They're down 2%. I mean, that's not much movement, because natural gas closed at 0%. So they were holding their positions for months. Their holding periods are not day trades. This is evidence of not day trading. So that's very interesting. And I didn't know that. You know, maybe they have a breakout natural gas system, or hedge funds run that intraday action. This is not that. They are not running intraday actions. It doesn't seem to be that way. So it seems to be that their holding period is a quarter of a year to a full year. That's what it looks like. And it looks like they do trend follow. It just doesn't make sense that they didn't get stopped out here when it goes upwards. I'm surprised that this tip did not stop them out. But they were still short, and they rode this whole trend downwards. Will they find another trend like that? I don't know, because their profit has slowed down as natural gas remains sideways. They have slowed down their profits. So, very, very interesting. Their last big winner was 12% month when natural gas went down 32% in October of 2024. Bam, right here. So, huge bar downwards. Remember, this similarly bar upwards when natural gas goes up 13%. They're down 12%. They make their 12% back when natural gas drops 30%. So you can see that their position size is almost the same on these bars, and price movement is almost the same. So they're controlling about the same amount of contracts, and it went upwards, they lost money. It went downwards, they made money. It's clear to say that they were holding the same position. They were short. They've been short. 2024, they've been short. It looks to be the start of 2024, they've been short, and that's a trend following system. You can see that it's gone down. That's why they're short. It just makes sense. Now, it looks like they flipped their bias after they made their money in 2024, because natural gas went up 16%, Statar up 5%. So in November and December, very, very interesting. November, December, these green bars at the very low of natural gas, you can see this hedge fund started buying. This hedge fund started buying right here because these two green bars no longer cost them money. It actually makes them money when it's starting to go up. I don't know how they just randomly switch their bias like that at the low. Trend followers do not do that. So it's not a trend following system. I don't know. I can be persuaded on what the hell system they're running. I don't know. I'm just trying to assume things. But then, I mean, shortly after, natural gas went up 16%. They went down 4%. So they're no longer 2025. They're no longer long. Here, they're no longer long. This bar went upwards. They are no longer long. And you can see natural gas slows down and turns over, and now it's just ranging. So very interesting. I don't have results past them. They stopped posting them, but then natural gas went down 30%. Statar is only up 4%. So right here. So they were not short. So they've been kind of not holding many positions, or a smaller position size, it looks like. So anyways, that's very interesting. I think it has more to do with trend. If I had to say, they're not a mean reversion system. They're not an intraday system. They have their holding period is very long, and we should look at this. We should learn from these people, because I mean, our holding period should be longer than if this is how the big guys are making money, right? I'm sure there's smaller time frame hedge funds out there, but in this case, this natural gas focused fund does seem to be holding positions for 3 to 9 months, and they do seem to be following trend. Because this down move happened, and then the following month they got short. So that's conclusive to me. They rode the trend. How did they know natural gas was going to continue lower, and they got out when it slowed down? I mean, that's pretty obvious of a some type of moving average system where the market slows down, you get out because the moving average catches up to the price. So I think there's trend following elements into this strategy that they're running, and yeah, very interesting, but they're very directional, for sure directional. They have 10, 12 20% losing months. You can't get that in any other direction because natural gas moves down 24%. They happen to be long. Bam, they lose 12%. Like, that's clearly, you can clearly see their position from the results here. So interesting. Very interesting. So more to know. Are we going to take trades that are longer periods? You can, but there's just less history to go off of because your holding period is so long. We don't have to do things the same way as the hedge funds, but it's very interesting to learn from them. So now it's pretty conclusive what they're doing. So anyways, see you later. Peace.
And I don't even want you back, even though you're all I have. I'm a Medusa, I could use her till I crumble and I